Good afternoon. This is Debra V. Wilson. It is the 3rd of April 2017. It's Monday. Time is 1500 hours and 2 minutes, and that's GMT plus 2. Today, I'm going to do a short podcast about allies. I had a wonderful experience in the feminist space here in Haifa, and very briefly, I had a conversation with another feminist about allies, which led me to thinking, and it is the impetus for this podcast. I define myself as a feminist with a focus on security, and then looking at how marginalized communities, a bottom-up perspective of security, but within that bottom-up perspective, always realizing that no matter how powerful the state, civilians' conceptualization and experiences of the state-constructed security model, national security, can impact the effectiveness of the national security model. It can improve it. It can also be an anathema to collective security, national security. So in terms of being a feminist who's always looking at security and this question and topic of allies, I wondered, is there a true and fast method that works all the time for connecting with allies? When you're a grassroots organization or a feminist in the world, do you need allies? I would say yes. Even in corporate America, and I had a career in corporate America in Chicago, Illinois, the first thing we were told to build in our career as a baby accountant was a network, allies. And so as a feminist now for the first time in the Middle East, I'm looking at the prospect of building allies here. I have allies in a network in the UK and in Canada. And as I said, now I'm in the Middle East, Israel. So how do I go about building allies? And what do you look for? I think in the process of building allies, one of the things you need to be clear about and be focused about is what is it that you want to accomplish, whether it is as an individual activist or an organization, an NGO. And then I think the next thing is a thorough understanding of your position. I'm going to borrow a term that I've recently become quite enamored with, spatial positioning. So you need to understand what your privilege is or what your marginalization is. So what do you already have and what do you need? And those questions then I would think refer to my two recently posted podcasts on identity. You need to understand the space that you're currently occupying. And if that space is satisfactory, which typically it isn't for an activist, we're always looking forward of what we need to do, then you need to determine where you want to be and which allies are most likely to help you facilitate the direction you seek to go. And so I think you need to make honest assessments of your spatial position and that of other people and other organizations. And you have to ask yourself, do I trust them? Can I trust them enough to work with me? Will I stay true to my ethos, to my brand, if I reach out to this ally and they connect and they're now in my network? Will they keep me safe? Will they give me access? Will they understand my brand? Will I understand who and what they are and what the dynamics of us working together, whatever that working together means for that particular interaction, relationship. So I think all those things can be highly individual for your NGO, as an individual, for your brand. And therefore, I think that those questions must be highly contextualized. I think it requires a fair bit of honesty about understanding who and what you are, who and what your brand is, as an activist, feminist or not, as an NGO, feminist or not. And I think it takes a fair amount of honesty and understanding of the allies you're reaching out to, or the allies reaching out to you. I think it's also you need an understanding of what can happen when you pair up with the right group of people, and what that synergy can do. Literally, sometimes the sum is greater than the parts. Sometimes when you are with the right allies, the potential for growth is unimaginable in a good way. I don't know if I necessarily have any answers. I have a lot of questions, and I think I'm looking in the right direction. But the question of allies, it's in networks, /networks. It's always on my mind. I know I was very methodical and sometimes slow in building my network in London, England, but I did it. And it was a network that worked and still works for me. I have a very small network in Canada, but it's a good one. And it's good in terms of, which is highly subjective to say that, but it's good in terms of the fact that it works for me. And what I'm hoping to achieve is a security-minded feminist. And now here in Israel, I'm looking around and not talking to as many people as I'd like to, but that'll change soon. And I'm keeping in mind what I want to accomplish, what my goals are, what my ethos is, what my brand is, my current allies in the UK and Canada, and how I make that all mesh together and work with additional allies that I know I need here in Israel. My guess is in the next few weeks, I'll have a different podcast when it comes to allies. And my guess is I'll be able to share something, not specifics, that I've got an ally or two. I've increased my network. I'm optimistic, as you can see. As you can hear. But for the moment, the question of allies, particularly here in Israel, is something I'm exploring and something I'm attempting to understand. So, this is Debra V. Wilson. I'm in Haifa, Israel, and I'm building a network. It is the 3rd of April, 2017, and I look forward to updating you on my journey, my simultaneous journey, actually in all 3 of my countries, and that's Canada, Israel, and the United Kingdom. Thank you.